All right, we'll try this again. 1, 9. This is the second half. We've only done like the first example, really. We have to do 1B yet, and then the rest of it goes really fast, okay? So, 1B, they're asking you for an orthographic drawing. So we did draw 1B on the dot paper, but when they ask for an orthographic drawing, they're asking for one of these, okay? So we're going to draw those guys, and we're going to have 4 different views. We're going to start with the top view, okay? And then we're going to do the left view, the front view, the right view of what this guy looks like. And draw those out for this object, okay? So they're telling you which one's the front side, which one's the right side, which one's the left side, etc., right? If I'm drawing it from the top down, okay? Now this is kind of hard for people to see. If I'm drawing it from the top down, like this is the bottom and this is the top, right? You see that? Okay, so for my top view, if I'm looking at this side right here, I have 3 on the side, right? Okay, the bottom's going to go 2 blocks over, okay? That middle column, or middle row, I guess, will go 4 over. You see that? Like it looks something like this. And then how many are in the top row? 3, right? Like if we're condensing it, like so that we cannot see like the dimension and all. Do you see how that works? Yeah. 2 here on the bottom, 3 here, and then, or excuse me, 4 here, and then 2 here, or 3 here. You see that? That's the top view. Okay? Now the left view is going to be this direction. What does the left view look like? 6 blocks. It's like a wall, right? 2 high and 3 across. Does that make sense? That's my left view. Yeah? What about the right view? Same thing, right? My left view and right view are going to look kind of the same. So 6 blocks. Okay, this is assuming that we cannot see any dimension at all. Okay, so like we just slam the blocks together, we can't see that like one is sticking out, right? And then the front view is this direction. What's that direction look like?
4 long.
Okay, so across the bottom there's 4, he says. Is that right? 4 across the bottom?
2 on
Yeah.
the top.
And then 2 on the top. Okay, so 4 across the bottom would be like these 4, and then 2 across the top. Is this confusing? Do we understand what's going on here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. I'm just not very good at drawing.
You're just not very good at drawing? Okay. I mean,
Yeah, you're
whatever.
gonna have to give me a second.
Just like that. Okay, this is what's called an orthographic drawing. An orthographic drawing. Okay? Good?
Yeah.
Alright. La 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 la. Ba, 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 ba. Alright, ready?
Yep.
So can you
The
like draw
bottom
like the with the top? Can you draw the opposite way?
What do you mean?
Like, I guess it's not never mind.
The top should have like this is the front of the top and this is the back of the top. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like how the top is set up. Make sense? Yeah. Okay, all right, so the next little thing that we have to talk about is something called a net, okay? So if you have a 3D solid and you are unfolding it like they did there with like their Cracker Jack box or whatever, or like a Kleenex box or a cereal box or whatever, we are making it a 2D diagram and this is called a net. You're like undoing it, right? Okay, now, your net might look different from somebody else's net. For example, like if I unfold that Cracker Jack box, like maybe this top tab, I actually put over here, right? Because if I fold it back together, it'll still work, right? Maybe I put this tab over here on this side, right? If I fold that back together, will it still fold the same way? Yeah. So you can draw nets differently. That's just like one example of something that you could do. So yeah, like the way that works is like as long as it unfolds and refolds back to like normal, it doesn't matter which seams you cut apart. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. So the next one, this one is giving us the net and saying draw what it looks like. Okay. So they gave us a net. If I fold this back together, what figure will it make?
Triangle or prism.
Identify the solid form. This is a triangular prism. Okay. All right. This morning I did my triangular prism like kind of like a tent. I'm gonna try it a different way. So I'm gonna try it like I'm gonna really try. Ugh, I don't know about this. Okay, I'm gonna go down this way. I don't know about this, guys. I'm gonna do a dotted line. Hey, this might work. Okay, so the dotted lines are the ones that you can't see. Hey, that doesn't look too bad. Can you tell what that looks like? The dotted lines are the ones behind it that you can't see. Okay, that's what my triangular prism is gonna look like. This morning I had it like sitting upright and it just looked weird. And somebody else drew it this way and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do
Somebody
that.
else drew it like that.
Yeah, that's the way I drew it, except mine did not look that good.
Does it
I
matter which
You
way you draw it?
What?
found that good?
Matter which way
It
you
does
draw
not matter the orientation that you draw. Now, we do have to label though. We do have to label those. So here's the deal. We are going to label how tall is this thing, or what's the length of this thing.
10 inches.
10 inches. So I'm going to draw 10 inches right here. I'm going to put that. Okay. And then this top side, this is my long side. I'm going to make that 5 inches. Okay. This one right here on the right side, I'm going to make that 3 inches because that's like on the right side of the object. And then I'm going to make this one 4 inches. Okay. So we have like the dimensions of our little triangle thing. Okay.
Okay.
So we got to draw it, we got to label it, and we got to do all that stuff, and then we're good. Okay. Happy with that? Yeah? You can't draw.
Right.
You know,
No.
it's fine. I think on your homework assignment you have to draw like a pyramid or something, and people were like struggling drawing a pyramid. I said, if you struggle, find a picture of a pyramid, like from your book, and then use that kind of to model to draw your pyramid. Okay.
Yeah, I got it.
All right. Good. All right. Let's go to the back side. Back side at the top is the last one. They're saying draw a net of this. Okay. So there's a couple different ways you could draw a net. Like
Oh, you
one.
just said that really fast.
What?
Couple of ways.
A couple different ways that you can draw a net, okay? So here's, like, if I take that pentagon off the top and I draw, like, this guy, I could do, you know, like them off to the side over here and then maybe 2 more off to the side over here, right? Ugh. You don't have to make them pretty because mine are really ugly. Like that, I could do that. Or, like, let's say I take these two... Let's say I take these 2 off of this side and I lump them over here, right?
That was like,
Okay, and I take this guy and I lump him over here. Like I could do that, right? I can make him look like that instead, right? And instead of having him in the middle, right? I can make him look like that. Or like the majority of people this morning did one of these. They made him a flower. Let me do it better. Here, hold on. Bottom. I'm gonna make a pentagon. Here we go. I gotta make my good pentagon. Okay, they made him a flower. You see what I'm talking about by a flower?
That's cool.
They unfolded him like this. But if I do that, I can't just leave him like that. I have to also
add another one.
add another one. I gotta add the bottom pentagon or the top pentagon, whichever way you're looking at it, right? So you can make him a flower too. Okay, and when we do this, we have to label. It says label the dimensions. Label the dimensions. All right, I don't have to put a bunch of 12s in there and a bunch of 15s in there. So here's what we do to cheat. And this is not actually cheating. Like, this is just the way that it goes, okay? So all of my 15s, 15 centimeters is like everything that's going to touch the edge of a pentagon. So like 15 is the edge of a pentagon, and all of those are 15s. Do you see that? So we put one little tick mark around the ones that are 15s, okay? Now, in addition to that, that means all of the edges of these boxes are going to be 15s as well, because if I fold them back together, those are going to touch the edge of the pentagon, right? Okay? Same thing with this pentagon down here. Those are all going to be 15. So I just put one little tick mark, okay? And the bottom of these boxes are going to be pentagons, like are going to touch the pentagon. So there's that, okay? The 12s are going to be just the height of the boxes, right? Like the height of your prism, okay? Which will be like these guys in the middle here, like those dimensions. So I'm going to label this one as 12. And what can I do to denote like those are 12s?
2
Two
ticks.
circles.
Yeah, let's do 2 tick marks. Okay, I realize that I have 2 different colors, but most people don't have 2 different colors to do that in. So I'm just going to use 2 tick marks, and that's going to designate that those are all 12s. Make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. So now he's all labeled. He's all good to go. Okay, so it does not matter how you draw your net as long as it still fits back together when you do that. Okay, good?
Great.
All right, so let's talk about the homework assignment. Blah, blah, blah. So on skills, we're going to end up doing all of these, okay? But some of them we've already done. So like number 1, they just want you to draw a net, okay? Number 2, they want you to draw, 4, they want you to draw a net. I'm skipping over to the side. So 1 and 4, they just want you to draw a net. Do the best you can. It doesn't have to look
How
perfect.
do you draw?
Okay.
Do that. Do you just
I got it already.
A
oh, that's
soup can.
quite draw like a rectangle and like a circle, 2 circles?
I think did I draw that for you the other day?
No.
Or that was the first period class, okay? So let's talk about this one. This
That-
is a
that
good
one
one
would
because I
be
think you
cool.
have to draw a net for a cylinder on the other side. Yes, you do. Okay. All right. So let's draw this net. Okay. And let's talk about the dimensions of this cylinder. So if I have a soup can label, like here's my paper and
Like
it's
that?
around my can. Right
Something
here.
Like that?
This is my soup can
Yes, like
label,
that.
right? Okay.
Number
And I unroll it. It's literally a rectangle, right? Yeah. Okay. So I have a rectangle. That's my soup can label, right? Okay. And I can put my circle like here, right? Like that's the top of the soup can, okay? And then I can put the bottom circle like here, or I can put him like over here or whatever. The only thing I cannot do is put him here, right? Because it fits back together like that circle doesn't go up there, right? Like you know, can you see that it
Okay,
doesn't
if you
work?
put them at two ends, then the sides. can
What if I
touch.
put him up here?
No.
Then I don't have a bottom on it, right?
What if you put
Okay.
it on the two ends?
Like these two ends right here? Like that?
Yeah.
Then that
Would be
would just
skinny.
mean like you're rolling him this way. So he would be a really long cylinder. Does that make sense?
But it would still work if you like.
I mean,
mark
technically,
it.
yeah, as long as you mark it, whatever. I'm gonna put him like the top and the bottom, like this right here and this right here,
Okay.
okay? And he should be touching. Don't think he's not touching. Okay, now, but we have to label stuff. This is where it gets tricky. 9. Where is the 9 located on my net?
Side.
The side. So I'm gonna say that this is 9 centimeters, and this is 9, and this is 9, right? I'm gonna put little tick marks there. Okay, now, how big is the top of that rectangle? Like what's this distance right here?
2 pi r.
That is the same as this around that way, around the edge of the top, which is the circumference of the circle, which is 2 pi r, right? That's what circumference is. And the radius is 2.5, right? So we plug that in. So what's the
5 pi.
length here? This is 5 pi. You see how that works? So 5 pi is that top. I'm going to do 2 tick marks there and 2 tick marks there. That's what 5 pi is. Make sense? Yeah? So that's a weird way of finding the length of that rectangle. It's actually the same as the circumference around the circle because that's where it will wrap around. Make sense? Okay. All right. Number 2, we have already drawn him.
We don't have to mark the circles or anything.
No.
Okay.
Because by marking the other one, you've kind of already marked the circle, I guess. So number 2, we've already drawn. We've done that one. Number 5, you have to draw those orthographic top, left, front, right. Can you do those? Yeah, that one shouldn't be too bad with this object. You'll notice that like 3 of them are very similar to each other. Try the best you can for a party hat. If you have questions, I can help you. I cut apart a party hat this morning. I made a party hat first, and then I cut it apart. So if you need to see that, try it first. On practice side, we have already done number 1, right? Number 2, you have to do front, left, right, and top, or however you want to do it. Flirt. Some people do top first. It doesn't matter, right? So number 2, do those, and then 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 are just drawing the net and vice versa. So you'll end up doing all of them, but some of them we've already done. Like
Okay.
1 on this side and 2 on this side we've already done. Okay? Good? Anything else? Nets are kind of fast, but the drawing part that we did on Friday, that's the hard part. That's like the long part. Okay? All right, I'm gonna stop the video.